Hard up, hard up, 27, hard up, here we go, on the road, 27, hard up, hard up.
You are listening to Voices from the Diaspora.
Good day, listeners, and welcome to yet again another week's interview of Salone personalities at home and abroad. Joining our panel this week for the interview is the newly elected mayor of Makeni Town Council, Madam Sunkari Kaba Kamara. Her election was indeed a first for Makeni City Council. She was the first lady to be elected mayor of that council, as well as the first for the North. Good day, Madam Sunkari Kaba, and welcome to the interview.
Thank you very much.
First of all, on behalf of our listeners, the Voices of Diaspora and meeting, I wish to congratulate you on your election.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our first question has to do with regards the perception of female leadership in the North. Many a time it's been argued that female leaders have faced so many problems from male counterparts. Will you say this has been affecting your position as mayor since you've been elected?
Well, not really. I think we having a complete change in the behavior and perception of people about women in leadership. We know that the northern region of Sierra Leone is well known for its patriarchal activity when it comes to leadership. But the good news here is the perception of people is gradually changing. It will interest you to note that since I expressed to aspire for this position, I enjoyed a very big support, from quite a good number of our males in the municipality and in the country. When you look at the way our people, especially the men, especially the educated ones, those that have, been out of the country, people like you in the diaspora, you now have recognition for female participation in governance. I think this has been interpreted into the political landscape of this country, and as does helps me, to aspire and attain the position.
Thank you. That's good news from that point. Now, let's go to your job as mayor of the Makeni municipality. Like you said, would you say you faced any mountain to climb from your predecessor? If so, what were they? If not, what developmental strides have you continued to implement that were as a leftover from your predecessor? Bearing in mind that people are really talking about the changing phases of Makeni, what are your own individual programs for implementation?
Yes, I must say that, my predecessors have been doing their own bits. Not that they've also been sleeping. They've been working. But for our city to continue to maintain and attain the status of a city, there is more work to do. There is more work to help us achieve that. When I assumed office, remember I was inaugurated by His Excellency the President, Dr. Anesbai Kuruma, in January 2013. So I'm barely 2 months old in office. When I assumed office, I had series of plans, how we can move our municipality forward. And we have gray areas in the work that my other predecessors have been doing, but which require more work. So my plans are not different, from what they've been having. And it is in sync with the government's agenda for prosperity. So it's all what is enshrined in the agenda for prosperity that I am actualizing on the ground here. If we look at the area of infrastructure, you look at our road network, you look at other basic infrastructure facilities, they are still in ruin. We need to do more, like to fix our roads. We need to fix our roads and then take ownership of those roads, especially those that will, not be tar. For the tar ones, I mean, they are all-weathered roads. They don't require the much maintenance like the side roads. So, and we're having a lot of problems with that. That is something that I will be looking at in my plans. And then the other issue is about revenue generation. We know donor fatigue is setting in. 80 to 90% of the monies that we are using to run the local councils are funds that we are receiving externally and from the central government. But that is not sustainable. So we are looking at how we can diversify our revenue generation. So that is a key area so that we will be able to look at our problem as a city. The other issue has to do with our geographical area. The municipality of Makeni, has grown so much, but it's limited to a particular geographic area. That is where we have the mandate to collect our revenue. But we're also providing services in the outskirts, around the periphery. But we don't have mandate, to collect revenue, and we are providing services in those areas. So one big plan I have is to see how I can advocate for government to increase our area of coverage so that will reflect in even our revenue collection. And we all know the issue of the Makeni Cemetery. That cemetery is almost an eyesore, very difficult to maintain. It's now full. I will not allow our people to continue burying their dead in that place. The place is so dignified, and we don't want it to be that way. So one of my plans is to get the old cemetery fenced and secured, and then we get new sites which will be properly laid out, for our use as a cemetery. And as I'm talking now, negotiations are underway. The two sites have been identified, and we are now negotiating with the owners. Then we have this problem of waste management, solid waste management. It is a very big issue. The city of Makeni is growing very fast. The population is growing. The waste generated has increased. So it is a very big challenge. The council, inherited very old and aging vehicles which spares are not even available. So concentrating on waste management, getting a designated dump site, because that is also the big challenge that the city is facing. There is no designated dump site. That's why if you go out of Makeni, around the periphery, you find out that all the roads, are being littered with garbage, which is very unsightly and is not healthy for our people. So now, my other key plan is to get a dump site. And as I'm talking now, that has already been secured. And then also, to also create a media outreach section of council so that we can get the public informed. We can get our people informed on what council is doing so that we improve on our transparency and accountability and interface with our people. Remember, it is their government at their doorstep. They must be informed. Okay. The other issue has to do with our water supply system. As I'm talking now, we don't have running water in the municipality. The machine, that is there, the Salwaco site, is more than 50 years old. So you can imagine, how inefficient that machine is. So that is another area, that I will be looking at as a head of the municipality. And then also, since we have very limited resources, council is trying under my leadership to improve on the public-private partnership, so that some of these things we see how we can partner, with the private sector to, see all through. Today we are also blessed with the University of McKinney. I think most of the work that we will be doing, will be rooted in research. So we want to see a very strong collaboration and partnership with the University of McKinney to be helping us out in carrying out research, so that the results of that will inform, the decision of council to improve on the lives of our people. I think, in brief, these are some of the plans, that I have, as mayor of the municipality of McKinney.
Well, what would I say? That's a catalog of problems, and I can sense your enthusiasm to face the challenge. Good luck to you, Madam Mayor. Just a last question. You've spoken about your developmental strides. Let's go back to a question that will be related to the first one. What is your plan to empower the women of McKinney?
Yes, that is something very close to my heart. My aspiring for this position, I must say I enjoy the support of the women folk. And I cannot survive or thrive alone without their support. We have been looking at areas, including them in governance, so that they also participate in the governance of their places. We just concluded the Ward Development Committee elections. I want to inform you here that for all the 3 wards in McKinney, we now have an equal representation of men and women. You now have 5 men in the ward development committees, and you have 5 women. So the issue of including them, bringing them into the fore, them to participate on how we can move our municipality forward is something that is very key. I'm also looking at other areas because, most of our women are illiterate. They are engaged in petty trading and all of those things. And when you look at capital, their resource base, it is so negligible. It's so minimal, you see. So I'm also trying to create linkages with financial institutions and negotiate with them, to provide them with loans, at a very satisfactory interest rates, very moderate interest rates. Most of them are engaged in businesses. You have these other micro finance institutions that are giving them credit, but at very high interest rates. So, most of the businesses cannot survive. So I want to see how I can help the rural poor, our women, for them to access those loans without any stringent precondition.
All right. Listeners, you're listening to Voices from the Diaspora. I'm Saiduke Sise from Freetown, interviewing Mayor, Madam Nkari Kaba-Kamara of McKinney City Council. Final word, Madam Kaba-Kamara. Any clearing call to McKinney descendants in the diaspora?
Definitely so. I'm just trying to get myself settled down in office because I even want to go on a tour, to move around. It's not just talking to them via this media. I want to physically interact with them and bring them home, by explaining, giving them first-hand information of the current status of our municipality, so that they will also be on that side to give a helping hand. The donors are becoming fatigued. We need our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to lend a helping hand here. We have a lot of issues, as you've had the long shopping list that I have listed. The issues are so plenty. Now, as I'm talking, I'm grappling with garbage collection. You know, the willingness is now there